Welcome back, college football fans and Hawkeye fans alike, to the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog, the channel created by the college football fan for the college football fan, a gathering spot and a safe haven for all teams and all fans across the entire nation. Here on the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog, we cover the entire college football landscape. I'm your usual host, Blair Parks, and I've got a very special episode on tap for you today. If you've watched my previous episodes or my shorts, I already have unveiled to you my projected college football playoff field for the upcoming 26-27 season. So today I'm going to go ahead and continue that, and I'm going to break down who I like to win in each and every one of those rounds, from the opening round to the quarterfinal matchups to the semifinals, all the way to the national championship game. And at the very end of this episode, the curtain will go up and I will unveil to you who I project is going to win this year's national championship trophy. So definitely don't want to go anywhere. So before we get started, as always, I want to say thank you for your continued support, your time, your attention, because without you, none of this is possible. It is an absolute pleasure and a real treat for me being with you on the weekly, and here we are days away from week 0. It's an absolute pleasure for me to be here with you, sharing my love for all things college football with you on the weekly, but I do need your help. Please, whatever you can do to help the channel grow, it's much appreciated. So please like, share, rate, subscribe, comment below, because I want to find more college football fans just like you. And as always, I always welcome, appreciate, and ask for your participation. So please let me hear your hot takes, your opinions on any of the facts or the opinions that I mentioned during today's episode. Please get involved, light up that comment section below, and I promise you I will get back to each and every one of you much sooner than later via those comments. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and start this dog and pony show. So what I want to do first, before I go ahead and unveil to you the matchups for this year's college football playoff field, let's go ahead and review, and I can just bring you up to speed on, once again, who my projected college football playoff field is, teams, and the seeds. So to quickly review my top 4 seeds, remember these are the teams that earn that first round bye. I've got number 1 Georgia, who I project will be my SEC champion. In the number 2 seed, I've got independent Notre Dame. I think they will be the only team that goes undefeated this year in college football. Number 3, I've got Oregon, my projected Big Ten champion, and my final seed and team that gets the first round bye. In the 4 spot, number 4, I've got Miami, the Hurricanes, my projected ACC champion. So those are the top 4. Now let's get on to the all of the at-large bids other than the group of 6 representative. So my first at-large is number 5, Texas. At number 6, I've got Ohio State, and those two could have been flip-flopped. Really depends on the outcome that I believe is going to happen in week 2. I do think Texas will defeat Ohio State this year as they visit Austin down there in Texas, but that could very easily be flip-flopped if Ohio State does happen to go there and win. But I like Texas number 5, Ohio State number 6. Number 7, I've got BYU, my projected Big 12 champion. Number 8, I've got the Oklahoma Sooners. I'm big on Oklahoma this season. Number 9, I've got them returning for a 3rd straight year. I've got number 9, Indiana. The Hoosiers, I think, will get back to the college football playoff this year. Number 10, kind of a surprise. I think a team that a lot of people are sleeping on. When you hear or talk about the Big 12, it's either all about Texas Tech or BYU. But number 10, I like Utah. I think this team is dangerous. Devin Dampier, their quarterback who's returning, that's enough said. The guys must see TV. I think they're going to be very, very good. So I got Utah number 10. Number 11, my really big sleeper team, my shocker team this year. I think that a lot of it is due to their schedule, but if they go 10-2, 11-1 or better, you're going to get in the playoff. Number 11, I like the Penn State Nittany Lions to get in the back door. I think they will deserve it, though. And then number 12, my group of 6 representative, I love this Western Michigan Broncos team. I know a lot of people are really, the really popular picks are Boise State, the Running Rebels there of Las Vegas. So you've got Boise State, you've got UNLV, and Navy's another popular pick. But this Western Michigan team, they won 10 games last year, and they won the MAC conference title. Their entire backfield is back, and they are projected to win the MAC again this season. And plus, I think the reason that they will be propelled to make the college football playoff is, I believe, week 3 they host Boise State travels to Michigan. I think that's going to be a huge win for them. So I'm really banking on Western Michigan defeating Boise State, and I believe in week 3, maybe week 4's non-conference matchup. All right, so that is my projected and forecasted college football playoff field. So now let's go ahead and get into the matchups and who I project is going to either move on or go home packing. All right. So remember, those top 4 seeds do get that first round bye. So in the first round matchups, number 12 Michigan, they visit number 5 Texas. Number 11 Penn State will travel to number 6 Ohio State. You talk about a good old-fashioned Big Ten rivalry. These teams don't play every year again, but man, they've played some classics in the last 10 to 15 years. Number 10, Utah will travel to number 7, BYU. I mean, it's great. It's a rivalry game, the Holy War. I think it will be a Big 12 title game rematch. I think in the regular season, Utah will defeat BYU up there in Salt Lake City, but I do think BYU will defeat Utah in the aforementioned Big 12 title game. So this will be the 3rd time that these 2 teams match up on the gridiron, and I love it. I mean, these are the matchups we want to see. 2 rivals geographically in the same footprint, same state. That's what we want to see. That's what college football is all about. In the last first round matchup, I've got number 9 Indiana traveling to number 8 Oklahoma. All right. So the quarterfinals, all right? So that's why I wanted to keep you waiting. I know the anticipation is killing you, but I didn't want to tell you yet who I projected was going to win those matchups. I'll bring that in right now. And now, as far as playing those top 4 seeds. All right, so moving on to the next round, the quarterfinals. All right, number 1, Georgia, I've got them hooking up with number 8, Oklahoma. That's right, I've got Oklahoma defeating Indiana in the first round. And I believe this is going to also be a SEC title game rematch. But also, this will be the 3rd time that these 2 teams meet up this season as well. They play in the regular season. I believe that game's down in Athens between the hedges. I think Georgia will win that one. I do think they'll also defeat Oklahoma in the SEC title game as well. Next game, number 2 Notre Dame. I've got them facing number 7 BYU. I think BYU will defeat their arch rival in the first round and take on the Fighting Irish in the quarterfinal round. Number 3 Oregon. I've got them facing up with number 6 Ohio State. And what a great matchup there. Another rematch. I think this is going to be a rematch of the Big Ten title game. But it's also the 3rd time that these teams will play this season. I think in the regular season, Ohio State will defeat Oregon in Columbus, but I think Oregon returns the favor in the Big 12 in the Big 10 title game, Now, I know some people don't want to see these teams play that much, and I think the committee will kind of do what they can to prevent that, but this is the way I believe it's going to be and should be. I mean, good teams, these rivalry games, these winner-take-alls, we want to see the best matchups possible. I think we're really seeing that when you look at how I see things falling into place like Tetris, right? And the final game in the quarterfinal round, I've got number 4 Miami hooking up with number 5 Texas. I think they'll be able to take care of Western Michigan with very little problem in the opening round. So that's who I've got hooking up in the quarterfinal round in this year's college football playoff field. Please go ahead once again, get involved, comment below, let me know what you think about my matchups and who I project is going to win, and like, share, rate, subscribe, anything you do. Thank you very much for everything that you have done or will continue to do for the channel. So now let's move on to the next round, the semifinal round of the college football playoff. So we've got two matchups, all right? So my final four, when the smoke clears, I've got these four teams hooking up, all right? And I'll tell you why, because all four of these have two major things in common. There's kind of a common thread, a common centerpiece around these four teams, and that's why I believe they will be the four best teams in the nation when push comes to shove. So semifinal number one, I've got number 1 Georgia hooking up with number 4 Miami. That's right. I think Georgia advances by defeating Oklahoma for a third time this season. And I've got Miami moving on, seemingly maybe in an upset over number 5 Texas. It wouldn't be an upset via seeding, but I think people would really view Miami defeating Texas as a major upset, but I would not myself. So I've got number 1 Georgia and number 4 Miami hooking up in one semifinal. Now in my second semifinal matchup, I've got number 2 Notre Dame. I think they will defeat number 7 BYU to earn a trip to the semifinal round. I've got number 2 Notre Dame hooking up with number 3 Oregon. I think Oregon defeats number 6 Ohio State for the second time this season, punching their ticket to the semifinal. Now, this is why I think that these four teams are the best. And I'm sorry, they are seeds 1 through 4. I hate going chalk. Believe me, I tried to talk myself out of it. I hate doing that. But I do believe that these are the 4 best teams in the country because of 2 main reasons. One is when you look at how these teams are built along the lines of scrimmage, in the trenches on the offensive line and defensive line. They're big, they're experienced, they're physical, and they're deep. All right, so, and we know this anymore. This is kind of something that people are now starting to kind of, once again, maybe identify that the last few champions, that's really been won and decided in the trenches, okay? When it used to be simply the team that had the most lockdown defense. You talk about the Georgia defense, their very first year that they won the title. I mean, allowing what, 8 points a game? Yeah, you knew that's why they weren't going to be denied. Or a team that's going out there and scoring 60 points a game. Hey, what team can simply outscore everybody? All right, that has happened. I mean, when you think of the LSU title year with Joe Burrow there at the helm, but lately it's been won and lost and controlled on the lines of scrimmage. And these 4 teams are tough. They're built that way, as I said, because they really reflect their head coaches' personalities, cultures, and identities. All right? So that's one reason why I think these 4 will be the last 4 standing and the 4 best. And the last one is all 4 of them bring back experienced quarterbacks within their system, other than Mensa, who's transferred from Duke to Miami, but I think he will transition properly. I mean, CJ Carr comes back at Notre Dame. Gunnar Stockton, I mean, one of the best names in all of college football, is back leading like a maestro there at Georgia. And you've got Dante Moore at Oregon, who probably could have been most likely the number 1 draft pick if he would have went into this year's NFL draft, but he's back for 1 more year there in Eugene. So I think that's what's going to separate these teams, is line of scrimmage play and their experienced quarterbacks. Who is running the show? Who is leading that orchestra? Who's the composer? All right. So now let's move on to who I see advancing to this year's national championship game. So drum roll. I like number 4 Miami to punch their ticket by defeating number 1 Georgia, which I think will be one of the classic games. I mean, you talk about two teams that are just going to body blow, body punch each other, just physical. I mean, Mario Cristobal, Kirby Smart. I mean, what a great matchup that's going to be. But I do think Miami, they have a little bit more talent, especially in the skill positions with Mark Fletcher, Tony at their wide receiver. I think Darian Mensah is definitely a little bit more of a threat using his feet compared to Gunnar Stockton, even though Gunnar he's a little mobile. He can scramble if need be, but I just think Miami is going to find a way to beat number 1 Georgia and get to the title game. Now, who's their opponent going to be? I like number 3 Oregon. I think Oregon is locked and loaded. Dan Lanning, the coach at Oregon, I mean, he brings kind of that SEC power, physicality football in the trenches to the Big Ten, and they've been just loading up and kind of patiently just biding their time up there in Eugene. So I think Oregon will take care of Notre Dame, and I think Notre Dame's an excellent team, but I just don't think they're going to be challenged enough during the regular season when they really only have a 3-game schedule. I mean, they host Miami, they travel to BYU, who are 2 excellent teams. And if you've been listening, those are 2 of my playoff teams, all right? And then the 3rd game, they do host a pretty good SMU team in South Bend as well. But I just think that the experience of Oregon, I just think they have a little bit too much, a little too many athletes, speed, and a little bit too much depth for the Fighting Irish. So I like them to advance. So in the national championship game, I love number 4 Miami to hook up with number 3 Oregon. All right, so here it is, the moment you've all been waiting for. Who do I see winning this year's national championship? Now, last year, yes, I did not have Indiana winning. Most everybody did not. The year before, I had Oregon winning the national title. They did lose in the Rose Bowl to Ohio State. But the year before, I did have Michigan, which was the first of the last 3, the 3 in a row for the Big Ten. I did pick Michigan preseason to win the Natty, which they did. So I've been close, but a little bit far off. But this year, I feel very, very solid and secure and safe with who I have winning this year's national championship. So the winner between Miami and Oregon will be, drumroll, I'm all about number 3, the Oregon Ducks. I think this is their year. They slowly have been building toward this because when you look at how this team is trending, all right, ever since they joined the Big Ten, all right, now in the era of NIL and financial support and backing and transfer portal, there's very few teams out there that can rival the resources that Oregon has. The Nike money, right? And they've always recruited at the highest level, even before NIL, when everything above board became legal. But the way that they've been building through recruiting, transfer portal, the resources they have, all of every bell and whistle you possibly could want there in Eugene within the program, I think everything has led to this. And they have talent aplenty. It's everywhere on that team. Quarterback with Dante Moore, I've mentioned. I think they're going to have the best combination of offensive and defensive line. They might have the best secondary in all of the nation as well. I just think this is Oregon's year. And I think it's going to be, unless something happens or they do it to themselves, sloppy play, your classic trap game situation, or heaven forbid, a major injury to some major players or position units. But I think this is Oregon's year. And with Oregon winning the national championship and hoisting the Natty, that would be the Big Ten's 4th straight national championship winner, which is impressive enough. But I think a little bit more impressive, it would be the 4th team to do so. So you really can't say that there's a monopoly within the Big Ten. Oh, it's all just Ohio State and Michigan or Oregon. That won't be the case. Like we've seen before in recent history with Ohio State kind of running the show in the Big Ten, or Alabama or Georgia in the SEC, or even further back, USC dominating the Pac-12, the old Pac-12, even though it's back, or Clemson dominating the ACC. So I think that'll be something that the Big Ten can further just hang its hat on. 4 straight by a 4th different team. So that's how I see the season playing out. I might be right. I might be wrong. Only time will tell. But please help me. Let me know what you think. I've got to hear from you. Please exercise your right. I want to hear your college football voice. Go ahead and comment below to how I see these matchups playing out. And do you agree or disagree with this team making a run, that team making a run? Who do you like seeing winning the national championship and why? You know, whether it's negative, positive, neutral, whether you're a Hawkeye fan, SEC, Big Ten, Mountain West, MAC, I don't care. I got to hear from you, and I want to hear from you. All right? So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right? Oregon will win the national championship. All right? So that's my episode for today. I will be back next week, early next week. This one's really, next week is going to be really primarily just for us black and gold Hawkeye fans. I'm finally going to get around to doing my Iowa Hawkeye 2026 season preview and predictions episode. So if you're a Hawkeye fan, definitely want to pay attention and tune in for that one. So please don't miss it. You want to get notifications. So once again, like, share, comment, subscribe, and anything you're willing and able to do. Once again, I thank you very, very much and dearly, because once again, without you, none of this is possible. All right? So until next week, enjoy the rest of your work week. Enjoy your school week for those of you who are back at school. And by the way, enjoy the football. Week 0, we've got 2 excellent games. We got the 11 o'clock game here Central Time, the kickoff over in Dublin between TCU and North Carolina, and then an excellent game at 2:30. North Carolina State, travels to Virginia in a good old-fashioned ACC conference battle. So enjoy it. So until then, be safe, be responsible, and as always, go Hawks, and I'll see you soon on the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog.